Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's market color session. My name is Abigail, and I'm going to be taking the first half of this session, after which my colleague is going to come on board and do his own analysis on indices. So today, my major focuses are on the Euro USD, AUD USD, NZD USD as well. So let us just quickly jump into that and see what the market has in store for us today. So I'm going to be quickly looking at the DXY, just so I have a quick overview of where I see the dollar currency index going to before I then go down to analyze the dollar affiliated pairs. So looking at the DXY now on the monthly time frame, I see that price has returned back into the zone, right? So we saw a quick break above what we had that looked like some sort of a range, and then it returned back into this level. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly flip this zone out and then mark out the FPG that I see in between. So we have an IOFED actually right in this zone, which is now also between the 50 to 61.8% Fibonacci level. So this is now my area of interest that I'm watching out for. Right, the price already came back into the zone and violated it. So what am I now expecting the XY to do? I am thinking we're going to see something like this into the zone and then back into this support level that we have down below. But let us look down further to reconfirm. So looking at the weekly time frame now, you can see that we're in an uptrend. The XY is in an uptrend. It violated all of these zones and price has now returned into this level, right? However, it is also safe to say that this level was taken out. So if we're going to see price come back here, you see that it also aligns, right? So price came back, broke below this zone, we're expecting a retracement back into to retest this level and then a drop. But if price comes into this zone and breaks above, we're also going to be watching. But for now, I am expecting temporal buys on the DXY before the overall move is continued. This break below this level now makes the DXY looking like a sell opportunity. So looking at the daily time frame as well, right? So this one has been violated. The same thing I saw on the weekly, I'm expecting price to return into this level and then eventually sell into our support level that we have right around this zone. So now that I have this bigger time frame perspective of where I think the dollar is going, I am going to go ahead and quickly look at Euro USD because I have my eyes on Euro USD today. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all the diagrams so we can start from the top. On the monthly time frame, go ahead and mark out this. And price has now broken above the 50 and 61.8% level. It left so much momentum, it moved up with so much momentum and left a gap that I expect price to return and fill. So what I am seeing on the Euro USD is a move like this. I'm seeing a move like this. Come back into this fair value gap, into this IOFED, as we have another one right here. Tap into this zone and then maybe we're going to see a continuation of the Euro USD buy, right? This is what I am looking at, but we're going to fine tune and go down to lower time frames to have an even brighter picture. I'm going to go ahead and delete this Fibonacci tool now so it is as clean as possible. On a daily time frame, this is the imbalance that we saw. So I'm expecting price to either come and take out or fill up this imbalance that it left, or trade all the way into the second imbalance, tap into the previous resistance that we had around here and become resistance turn support, which is basically a flip zone, and we're going to see Euro USD to the upside. This is what I'm looking at. On the 4-hour time frame now, this may give opportunities to want to look out for an opportunity to buy into the higher time frame POI, and this is what I mean. So I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, and this is the most recent swing that I have right here, point A to point B, and I'm expecting price to retrace into this zone, right? So 50% fib level or 61.8% fib level before we now see price trade all the way upward. So we see price do something like this, trade back all the way upward, take out this FVG and, come to clear out the liquidity that we have lying around this zone. This is my perspective on the USD. As a recap, I am bullish on USD, expecting temporal sell-offs. This sell we're expecting is temporal for it to return into the zone and then continue the buy of Euro USD. So when price returns here, peradventure we're not on the charts, what are we going to be looking out for to confirm that this level, one of these levels, are going to hold? We want to see on the 1-hour time frame that a base pattern is formed. So basically we want to see something like this. We want to see two candlesticks that look like this. This is better. We have one candle, two candle, and a continuation. So we're basically going to be looking for something like this at those points of interest, our Fibonacci point of interest, to be certain that it's going to hold, and then look for a confirmation entry on the 5-minute time frame and take that trade. If you do not know what the confirmation entry is, that is fine, especially if you're just joining us for the first time. It is possible you do not know that. Just our confirmation in 5 minutes is going to be a bullish variation pattern because we're looking to buy. So a bullish variation pattern typically looks like this, something like this, 1, 2, and 3, right? And we're going to be buying Euro USD at our 4 hours point of interest, which now happens to be this or this. But again, remember that when it comes to the Fibonacci tool, as long as the entire swing is not violated, it is still valid. So peradventure price trades below the zone and comes all the way to even the 100%, it is still valid as long as it does not break outside of that overall zone. Okay, so I now have my bias on the USD. I am basically waiting for price to return into this zone. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to look at AUD USD quickly from the monthly time frame as well. Okay, so what do we see happening on this asset class? I'm expecting price to eventually return into the zone, so we can have opportunities to start or to continue selling high. Remember, at every point in time, we want to sell high, buy low, right? So expecting price to retrace into the, but this is the monthly time frame. It is going to take a very long time before price retraces into the zone. So let's go ahead and look at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, same thing. Our trend is to the downside. Price came here, found some sort of support, yes, that has pushed it back up. So I'm expecting price to come back into this zone, find resistance between this or this. There's also a resistance point right at this level here that should hold. So price should turn back into the zone, and we're going to be looking for sell opportunities of the Aussie against the dollar. Even on the daily time frame, also confirms it. Our swing is still very much in place, very much valid. So right now I am waiting for price to give me a good zone so that I can, sell high and ride it down. All right. On the 4-hour time frame, do we have the same thing? Now on the 4-hour time frame, looking at the daily time frame one more time, you can see that this is what we expect price to trade into, right? So on the 4-hour time frame now, it is possible that we see an opportunity to buy that retracement, but this is what I consider a low probability setup when you're trying to take a trade against the trend. So looking at this now, am I willing to look for buy opportunities of the AUD USD back into the daily POI? Am I looking for this back into the POI? If I'm going to be taking this reversal trade, I'm going to be taking that position with half my usual risk, right? Because it is a counter trade. So as long as this level shows validity, and by that I mean the base and continuation pattern that I'm looking out for, then I am going to be most likely taking the AUD USD trade. Reduce my risk in half because I'm counter trading and see what happens. But if it's not valid and does not give me that confirmation, I'm going to be sitting on my hands. Are we together so far? If we are, please leave an emoji in the chat box just so I'm certain that we are all following. All right. So looking at the NZD-USD on the monthly time frame, it's very similar to what we saw on AU, POIA, point A to point B, expecting price to retrace into this level for us to look for the sell continuation. On the weekly time frame, our trend is confirmed or to the downside. So very similar to what we did on AU. We're waiting for price to come back in here, and we're going to be looking for confirmation entries and taking or continuing the sell-off of NZD-USD. But again, like I said, very similar. We have a new swing that has been formed here. Price is now retracing into this zone. So what I expect that price will most likely do is that we're going to see something like this. Price is going to tap into the zone, and then we're going to see this movement happen. All right. So these are my bias on NZD-USD, AUD-USD, and the Euro-USD. We can even quickly look at FinViz to see the performance metrics of these asset classes as of today. The daily time frame, what do we see? So we're going to wait for it to load up, but it's looking like a gradual flight to safety Well, let's wait for it to finish loading up so that we can have everything spot on. We see that the risk assets are being dumped, AUD, NZD being dumped, very similar to our analysis, where we're looking for opportunities to sell AUD and sell the NZD, and then JPY, USD, CHF are the strongest as of today. So a gradual flight to safety, and investors are dumping the AUD, dumping the NZD. So do you see how they sync and how they tally, right? So we're spot on, waiting for opportunities to take advantage of this because we're looking to do what? Sell the AUD, sell the NZD against the dollar, which means we're now going to be buying the USD. Okay, so Forex Factory, do we have any fundamental news coming out soon enough that could cause very fast movement on the chart? Let us confirm that. Today is the 20th of March, being a Thursday. Okay, so you see that on the Aussie, we had the employment change that came out. And when you check to understand what this news release means and its effect on the AUD, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. But this came out not just lower, but even in a minus. So you see that the Aussie economy is not exactly doing its best right now. Unemployment rate came out as expected though, so it didn't really do much on the chart. It didn't really do much on the chart, but one thing is confirmed that there is more weakness in the Australian economy. So do we have anyone that would affect the dollar, the AUD, euro, or the NZD? So this is medium impacts. We didn't really do much on the chart. CHF, the pound, and then we have the unemployment claims on the dollar coming out later in the day by 12:30 p.m. So this is something you'd also want to watch out for because it is a high impact news release. So I believe you can now see the systematic approach that we take when analyzing the market to tell a story, because at every point in time, all we're doing is telling a story of what the chart is showing us. Shortly after, my colleague is going to come and he'll give us more insights on fundamentals so that you have more perspective into how these different fundamental news releases also plays a big role in technicals and how sometimes the fundamentals move the market more than even the technical analysis that you're used to. So we're going to be back in less than 30 minutes. We're pretty much done with this first segment. But if you have a question at this point, please feel free to ask me. And if this was helpful, also kindly let me know so that I know that, at least one person benefited from this. I see we are about 8 participants online. Good morning, Ayuba, Daniel, Jafet, Joseph, Joshua, Oladipo, Mr. Shei, and Irma. Good morning, good morning. All right, thank you so much. You're welcome, ma'am. Okay, so we'll be back in less than 30 seconds, 1 minute max. Please do not go anywhere. Cheers and God bless.
Please, can you hear me? Uh, Goodness. Sorry, having a network glitch in the studio, but help me confirm if you can hear me in the chat box so we can continue. I believe we're back. Help me confirm in the chat box. Somebody should help me confirm if they can hear me. All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry once again for that glitch. All right. This morning we'll be looking at the second part of the analysis, which covers indices. By indices, I mean the US 30, NAS 100, S&P 500, and other asset class in the market. Other asset class in the market. All right. So the market has been doing quite interestingly well. Coming. All right. I'm trying to give me a sec. Okay. Let's go straight to the chat. All right, so we're back on the chat, right? Market is doing quite interestingly well. And then we said yesterday, let's start with US 30. We mentioned yesterday that on US 30, we seen that we minor structure has changed to bearish, right? There's no doubt about that. You're seeing the bearish market as we speak currently, and then we marked out our key levels, our key areas, this zone, and we're expecting that price retrace above 50% for us to start doing what? For us to start selling, but the sale to continue again. If the prevailing market condition or market theme still apply, which is the tariff game plan by President Trump, right? So we had this area marked out on the daily time frame, expecting that price comes above 50%. But then on the lower time frame, we still had some game plan for buys, right? Expecting that the market is going to buy up onto some levels that we have. We start buying from certain levels that we've marked out for US 30, S&P 500. I think we have a buy setup across board, right? But for the sell setup, we had only for US 30 and for NAS 100. All right, quickly looking at what has happened so far. The market actually bought, but then it's currently buying as we speak, but then it didn't get to our area of interest, right? The only pair that got to our area of interest is the US 100, which we're going to look together, right? We had this area marked out. This that was on Tuesday. That this area marked out, but then price refused to get to that level, which we said this is going to serve as inducement. This is going to serve as inducement, but then we didn't see that happen. So what are we doing? What are we waiting for? I mean, price has begun to push to the upside. So there's no point trying to catch this buy again. All we want to do now is to wait for the sell, right? Want to wait for the sell. And for the sell, I'm looking at two. This is looking interesting, except for the fact that I'm seeing a week here, right? That's not looking quite great for a box pattern. So a classic box pattern will be we waiting for price to come to this top, right? For a sell. Classic box pattern will be waiting, excuse me, okay? Waiting for price to come to this zone, and then we double down on the sell from this zone, right? And of course, this is way above 50%, so it's very, very okay to start selling off from this premium level, right? And of course, it is in direction with the minor structure that's formed. So far so good, right? Let me put on 4 hours if to be clearer, more okay. I think it's more even clear on this 4 hour, right? There's a shift, there's a break to the downside, there's a fair value gap that's not been tested before. We expect that once price tap into that level, we see some level of retracement from levels of this rejection from this zone, right? And if that holds true, we are in for a lot of money, right? From this place, selling off from this zone to be very, very interesting to see. All right, that being said, on US 30, we can go to the next one, which is the S&P, the NASDAQ, that's US 100 in the market. For US 100, we also stated that we are what? We are bearish, bearish from technical perspective, and we drew our feed from this last swing to this last low, right? And then we're expecting that price comes to at least 50% retracement also, like the rest of the pair, 50% retracements, yeah, right? But then before we see that 50% retracement, we are expecting that price is going to retrace a bit into some levels for us to start buying from, which it did actually, for those that remember, right? So we said the last week we're looking at price, we marked out two area of interest for our US 100. You can watch the replay on YouTube. Just search for Tuesday's market color. Right, the second part, you're going to see the replay of this analysis that we did it together. Yeah, right. And we said that, of course, we're expecting that price comes to this zone. But then by the time we went to the 2 hour and the 1 hour time frame, we had another block, this particular other block. Yes, this particular other block here that I mentioned that price tested it once, but then we can see that uh retest again, right? You can see that retest again. Right, tested it one, yeah, meaning immediately it's formed. We saw a test on the other block and it pushed up, right? And then what happened again? Second time, price came back. This was our own setup that we were waiting for, and price came, tested it with just a week, right? Tested it with a week. If you're not on the chart and you didn't set pending order, most likely you will have you won't be able to even catch the trade, right? So price tested it with a week and then whipped off this other block, and you can see that's what's pushed to the upside, right? And of course, here are we going to? We're just going to 50%, yeah, which is around this zone, heading to 50% of those markets, right? So want to see 50%. So anything above 50%, we'll be anticipating a what? A sell-off. And there's a whole lot of opportunity here. One typical box pattern strategy also, or box pattern setup, which is what? A sweep of this high, previous high, price sweep to previous high, and then so a sharp drop to the downside, giving us a fair value gap that will be retested, right? So this is another zone to start expecting our anticipating our sell-off from, right? Just above this, once you've taken profits from all of this no buy that is happening in the market, right? So, and all of this also is predicated on the fact that the policies, the team still remains the same. No any major news that is going to disturb the balance of what we have going on in the market, which is unlikely. It's unlikely, to be honest, because we can just jump on Twitter in the next 1 hour now and then see a news release, probably a tariff slam on another country, or the expected tariff slam is being taken off again, and then the markets react to it again rapidly. So all of this is predicated on a strong fundamental being remaining the same, right? So that being said, for this morning, what we'll be doing, we'll be expecting that this buy continue and then sells of buys of above this zone for us to start anticipating our own sell in the market, because the sell is huge, right? The sell is quite significant. If this sell is going to happen, we should expect that it's going to, and then the way structure is moving is like it's building a lot of liquidity for it to come and grab once it starts selling, right? Once you start seeing something like that's very perfect. Expect that once the sell comes, it's going to just come and grab everything and then continue its sell off to the downside. All right, that being said, let's go to the final one for today, which is the S&P 500. On the daily time frame, we also mentioned that the S&P 500, we are very much what? You're very much bearish, right? With what price action is doing. We are very bearish daily time frame, and then we had a setup for a buy, but on the daily time, on the 4 hour time frame, we don't have any setup for the sell, right? That is set up for the buy, which is this, right? And then expecting that price is going to come to this zone. We have this other block here to price still to come around this other block, right? So it's something we're just going to it happens. I mean, the same other block that we had US 30 and US 100, that's Nasdaq, that price tapped into and then moved for S&P 500. Price didn't even get to that zone before you start pushing to the upside, which is it's one of those things in the market, right? It's one of those things in the market. We win some and learn from the others, right? So for this morning, what will I be expecting price to do? From myself, there's no way to enter this market again except if you want to scalp in and out, right? Probably you want to enter from this fair value gap, right? Meaning this order block, and then this look like an order block and breaker block combined, and then 50% of this fair value gap. The price is going to tap into this for it to start moving. But originally, where will I enter from? I want to enter from this zone, right? Catching it from the root is something that I am more inclined to do rather than trying to just enter from anywhere random on the chart. But then this is one possibility for those that still want to enter this trade. For me, I will have entered from love to see price come around here, then start holding the trade from this zone. All right, that being said, this is where we call it a wrap for today. Let me know in the comment section if we have questions. Do we have any question? Do we have any questions so far? Can state it in the comment section. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? Guys, I'm waiting for a response. Do we have any question? Any inquiry, any addition, any input, any gray area you want us to share more light, and we're going to do that very, very quickly. Can we look at BTC? Okay, all right, Ejiro, probably you're new, but then no problem. Let's look at BTC. Oh, just because BTC is blue. Interesting. All right, you are trading BTC now. God be with you. It is well. All right, for BTC, what do we have on BTC? Let me read on the weekly time frame set to see what is happening. Okay, interesting. So for BTC, okay, this is looking good. I mean, normal price action. If you see that bullish run, and then a lot of retracement, and then we had another what bullish run, right? Fib, now we fib this, and then 50% just below. Price came just below 50%, and it's currently buying to the upside. And look at something. Just below the 50% is what? This fair value gap in the market. This fair value gap, right? Just below again is this other block. So price has to incentive either to start buying off from this, 50% fair value gap, which currently it is looking like price is doing, or it comes down. We see a sell-off again. We see a sell-off that we're now going to see proper push to the upside from somewhere like this, meaning price does like this and then start seeing this guy rally again to the upside, right? But then technically from what we are looking at, the market is in that sell-off zone, right? This same thing that happened here. We had a major rally here, and then price retraced a bit, and then we had that major rally again, and then price is currently retracing a bit. So they're saying that this retracement is currently happening. Let me look at daily now. Okay, there's no thing like box here. Search, let me search. Trying to see. Trying to see if we're going to see something interesting here. Okay, nothing really interesting. Nothing really. It's just I'm fearful for the BTC because this looks very, very dicey. This one here is a clear-cut price action, market structure and liquidity. For any reason, price comes up here, and you should see some, slam to the downside from this zone. And then price is pushing back again to enter this zone. This order block that we saw on what's it called, weekly time frame. So BTC is still overall very much bullish, but now we're having a retracement in the market, right? Which is quite understandable because I mean The market doesn't just run one way. We see that impulse move to the upside and then retrace to the downside. So Ejiro, I believe you've seen the analysis on BTC, and it's not, of course, you're not doing daily time frame or intraday kind of trade on BTC for now. No, no. We're just looking at the overall. I believe that was helpful for you. Let me know in the comment section if you understood what we said on BTC. Personally, I'm not trading BTC for now because the market is really, really interesting. I'm waiting for your comment, Ejiro. All right, all right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet again by 2 p.m. for the New York session market follow. And also, let's be reminded, our ATM cash flow training is currently going on, right? So if you have somebody or you know somebody or you had somebody that wants to enroll to learn how to trade the synthetic market, that market is not affected by fundamental. It's strictly based on technicals, and we have built a system that allows you to make money from the market using synthetic. So we have that ongoing. So if you want to subscribe, if you're interested, send us a DM on social media and across all of our social media, and we're going to respond back to you. And for those that don't have time, but they want to still make money from the market, then you can sign up for our trading bot. We have them running and they are doing amazingly well. Of course, not compared to manual trading, but then you can be rest assured that you're getting something very significant at the end of the month. All right, that being said, thank you all for joining this session today. We'll meet again by 2 p.m. And until then, cheers and God bless everyone. Thank you.